turn on the recording before. I gotta do the intro. Okay, there we go. This is going to be the round of 16 game. No, we did that already. This will be the round of 8
round
game.
8. It is round
I'm
of
not
8.
crazy.
Second round of this tournament. And it is going to be Dominionation versus Sofanda.
The whole name's Sofanda Cox. It's a first name last name thing. It just clipped off in the game name. So Dominionation versus Sofanda Cox is gonna be a round 8 game, and we have chat bans going. I think looks like Nidalee for the first one. And Nidalee, as we talked about in the first game, is by the time you get to her to kill her, you've usually taken damage, or she's made you waste a whole bunch of time. And even while she's dead, her traps can still trigger on the map and provide vision to her allies, in addition to dealing damage and reducing your MR. It's easier to ban her than it is to deal with her annoyance, some would say. So that's one of the reasons why she's a bit of a common ban. And it looks like Kassadin is going to be the next one, who Kassadin has extremely high mobility. He brings a silence to the table and a slow. He can chase infinitely, escape infinitely, or at least as infinite as his mana will allow. Jace being banned as well. He has long-range poke, a little bit of AoE too with that poke, with the Shock Blast Acceleration Gate combo. He's a fast character, is able to get active and move around the map very easily, and can brawl pretty well in the 1v1 as well. And then Scyther being the last ban, because, you know, being bug and flying type is just way too many weaknesses. Most, like, 6 poke comps are going to have at least 2 pokes that have something that's going to be super effective against that. Also, Fury Cutter is an absolutely terrible ability. If Scyther gets a good run and is able to stack the damage up from Fury Cutter, he starts one-shotting whoever you throw out on your 3rd or 4th poke, and you really don't want to have to deal with that. And it depends on which gen Scyther we're talking about, though, because Gen 1 Scyther is actually not that dangerous, but when you start getting to like Gen 3, 4 Scyther, he's actually a lot more dangerous. They're referring to Kha'Zix, for anyone who didn't know. They want to ban Kha'Zix because his single target damage is amazing. He can surprise people over walls with the Evolve Leap, and when he bursts someone, he's either going to kill them, or he's going to do enough damage that it forces them out of the fight. He can chase and escape pretty well, too.
Alright, so they're saying that non-Kha'Zix is banned, and it's Scyther. Scyther non-Kha'Zix was the exact wording of the ban.
Okay, well, alright.
So looking to see a Kha'Zix pick, as not Kha'Zix was... I mean, they can only really play Kha'Zix at this point.
That would be interesting.
5 Kha'Zix v 5 Kha'Zix. I think it would be worse to have 5 Kassadin v 5 Kassadin, and you should turn your summoner blockers back on.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see ARAM, but I want to random you into a champion regardless of if you own it or not, and allow duplicate champions. I want to see like 4 Sivers on one team.
I just want them to allow you to random a champion regardless of whether you own it or not, because...
That'd be helpful. That'd be less silly Smurf accounts and people being like, competitive ARAM because I only have 12 champs. Calm down, please, sir.
Well, it's like all of my friends who are top laners never want to play ARAM because their entire pool of champions that they own is absolutely awful on ARAM because they only own top laners.
Yeah. And then you have people who play supports that love it because it's like, hey, sustain all day.
Hey, exactly. Like supports, mid laners. But looks like we're actually going to get back to the lobby. So
I was going to talk about the bans after they were picked, but this gives me a moment. I'll just leave these summoner blockers up right here while we're waiting.
Seems like someone did not connect to the game because servers are overpowered, and so Riot sometimes tries to nerf them.
I can't make that joke, but it would be funny, I assure you. And while we're...
That was really funny. Okay,
see?
Sorry.
There you go. She knows what's going on. Alright. And if you guys want to join us and hang out and talk to us, then you guys can go to the... you guys want to join this chat channel over here? You can do that. If you want to hang out in the DominateDominion chat channel with us, you go into the lower right-hand corner of your screen. You click on View Chat Rooms control panel. You go up. You click on Create or Join a Chat Room. It gives this little dialog box right here. You type in DominateDominion. Then you hit Enter, And we'll go ahead and put you over here in this chat channel that you can sort of see over here. And you can hang
your
out with us.
overlay looks so good right now.
I know, Feedsky, that was the joke, man. No, Valandum, I haven't, unfortunately. I think that there's a funny irony that way. Valandum is asking, I wonder if Gandair ever fixed his blocker stack to actually block the summoners, because the last time it didn't actually block the summoners. You're right, I did not fix that yet, but I think that's part of the appeal, I think, is that happens. But yeah, if you do want to join the chat channel, this chat channel right here, go to the lower right-hand corner, click chat room's control panel, create or join a chat room, type in DominateDominion.
What if I don't know how to spell DominateDominion?
Well, then you can look on the Twitch page right here. It's right on the screen.
Oh man, you're right. It says DominateDominion right there, and I could even just copy paste it, and I don't even have to type anything.
Exactly. You get one of those.
Sounds like a great way to join the chat channel.
Chat channel does cap out at 200, by the way, guys. So we can get 20 more people in, and then we're out of space.
I better join it now.
You can also, by the way, if you're in the chat channel, you can go up to this upper right-hand corner of the window. You can click the button here, and you can highlight auto join on startup and show timestamp. And that way you never have to worry about having to join the channel every time you log in. It'll just automatically put you in the channel when you log in.
So for those of you who don't know how to copy and paste, you can highlight it. So you do that by left-clicking right after the N in Dominion or right before the D in Dominate, and then just drag your cursor so that everything is highlighted in blue. And then you can right-click somewhere on that selection. That means press the right button on your mouse, and then move your mouse down where it says copy, and then you can click that, and then you do something similar to paste it into the window that you type in.
And that works on all versions of Windows, 95 or higher. If you're on a Mac, however...
Ooh, I don't know.
What do they do if they're on a Mac?
I think there's something about command or something. Do they even have right-click on Macs? I don't actually know. I know they used to not have right-click on Macs. I think they do now.
They do now. They used to be a one-button mouse with control, but now it's... See, Moloko made the joke that I was fishing for in the chat.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what Moloko said. That's exactly what you do if you have a Mac and you want to copy-paste something.
yes, you... No, here's what you really do with a Mac. Here's the hardcore mode. You take the Mac, and you... sandbox a virtual copy of a Windows machine on the Mac, and then you use that to do it in that window.
You could also do that.
Because then you log in through the sandbox computer into League, and you copy paste there, and then you log out, and then you close that. But since it's saved client, or since it's saved, I don't know if it's saved client or server side, I forget which. But it saves it, so then you just go back out to your Mac client, and you log in, and it kicks you into the channel already.
So what exactly is happening when it says active game not found?
I don't know.
Because it happens all the time when I'm casting, and I just press OK, and then, I don't really know what my client was doing.
Timekeeper law, if you're running it in Linux, you just open it up in Wine. Linux is great. Alright, back to the chat bans, or the champ select bans. As we talked about the chat bans as they were going on, Amumu, Lulu, Elise, Zyra, Wukong, Fizz are the champion select screen bans. There are 10 bans total. We did 4 of them earlier, as you saw in the stream or in the VOD, depending upon who's watching where. And we do these 6 here. Amumu, lots of AoE damage, great control. Bandage Toss is pretty spammy. You will get locked down. His chase is amazing. His initiation's amazing. Lulu, great support. Whoever Lulu's with is usually not going to die very easily. Lulu makes for an amazing delay. Glitter Lance can be a multiple target interrupt. She brings a lot of fun supporty goodness to the table. Move speed, damage, shield, health increase. There's not a single bad thing in Lulu's kit. She doesn't have a snap escape. I think that's the only thing. She doesn't have like a flash or a blink or anything like that. But there you go. She has 2 different types of things that she can use to CC or interrupt with. She has 2 types of health increase damage shield thing going on. She has 2 forms of speed manipulation, whether it's speeding up her allies or slowing the enemy. Lulu is just amazing. Her kit is one of the best in the game. Elise, A lot of damage, hard to kill. That's all these comes down to. Stun, hard to kill, lots of damage. Zyra, amazing zone control. AoE snare, AoE airborne, slow from the plants. A lot of things like that. Wukong, good initiation, armor reduction, AoE airborne. You can see kind of a running thing here. AoE CCs, they're getting kicked out left and right. Amumu, Zyra, Wukong, Fizz, lots of damage, has good chase, AoE airborne. Fizz can throw out a lot of damage, and he has some CC on top of that. Seastone Trident ain't nothing to laugh at. That dot will kill you. You've been warned. And that is the bands. Let me tell you about some of these champion picks here. Talon. Talon's just really good at killing people. I want there to be a better way to say that, but he can Noxian Diplomacy in, somebody gets silenced, Rake goes off, he chases after them, and they usually die. His burst is good. His ability to get into fights from a long distance away is also good because of the Noxian Diplomacy for one, and the stealth on top of that. So if he hits the Speed Shrine, he can get up to just the point where he would enter vision. Right before he enters vision, he pops the stealth. Continues running with that. The stealth ends, he Noxian guillotines over to someone, they're silenced, they get hit with the rake and all the blades from his ultimate, and then he just chases, walks down next to them, and stabs them a whole lot. Talon can be bad news. Brand, a lot of AoE damage, he's great for forcing positioning in fights. People want to spread out against Brand, and Pillar also makes them want to spread out more, so they won't be able to get clustered up very easily unless they want to take that damage or risk taking that damage from Brand. Brand also has a stun, he has a dot on top of that. A lot of good things coming out from that champion. Sona, good for sustain, her poke is good. A lot of people don't realize that about her, but the damage that she gets from the power cord is really, really nice. She and Sona is extremely common because she can delay for so long on a point. If you build sort of tanky support, Sona can hang out on a point for a while and chip people down. There's really, really late game, it can get to a point where, well, Sona's on the tower, I can't 1v1 that, I need to wait for an ally. And then by then, the amount of time that you've had to wait before you can get enough damage to unseat Sona from the tower through her sustain and durability, that one of her allies has shown up and will clean up the fight and take the tower back. Alternatively, Sona can be built a lot more spammy, sustainy, and more teamfight oriented, in which case she's more fragile and easier to put down. The stun's nothing to sneeze at. She has a slow on top of that. A lot of good things from her. Jarvan's amazing. Line effect AoE airborne, he can spawn terrain. People don't typically run flash in Dominion, so they don't have a way to jump out of that. And he has a lot of damage to boot. Yorick, good sustain, harass bottom lane, he's pretty durable. It's hard for him to escape sometimes, but he can delay for a really, really long time on point with Omen of Death. And we see Ezreal on the other side, along with Karma, Pantheon, Lysic, and Trundle. Dynov, Ezreal. Ezreal, you never know where he's going to be in a fight, but you know exactly what he's capable of doing. Ezreal could suddenly be further away from you, and that attack that you were going to deliver, he is not... He's not there anymore, unfortunately. He's just too far away. Or you can be like, hey, Ezreal can't reach me. He can jump in and just fire off some shots at you. He does a lot of damage, and he can deliver that damage pretty safely, in addition to being able to be aggressive with it. Global map presence because of True Shot Barrage is also nice to have. Karma is sort of like a supporting mage. Can do a lot of damage, keeps her team alive. There's just a lot of good things in her kit. Pantheon, global map presence as well, with his ultimate. He can jump somewhere on the map, get into a fight, he has a stun, does a lot of damage. Pantheon makes for a pretty solid duelist. I don't know who wins, Pantheon versus Talon. I think if Talon gets the first shot off, he'll win, but in a fair fight, Pantheon would take him. Leona, a lot of CC, very durable character, makes for an excellent dive because of Eclipse. And then Trundle. Trundle's sustain is just outrageous. That's really all it comes down to. He can go for damage, but it's really, Trundle's just going to stay alive for a long time. It's going to take a lot of effort to push him off the point, especially if Leona is anywhere around. And looking at that comp, I mean, they can just tank up and get together and survive for a really, really long time, and it's going to be difficult to burn through that. Early game, for that team comp, is going to be much different from in late game. And that's why these are picked and banned.
I feel like Talon would probably win because his silence is on a shorter cooldown than Pantheon's Heartseeker Strike, and so Pantheon's not going to be able to channel his E, like, at all.
Yes, ma'am, kablam, in the chat says, in Valkyrie Profile, the guy who plays Arngrim also plays Lizard. Yes, that's correct. Also, the guy who does the voice of Gray does the voice for... was also the voice actor in the first season of Pokemon, voicing James. And, on top of that, Mistina and Jolanda and Lorenta all have the same voice actor, I believe. Maybe not Lorenta, but I know Mistina and Jolanda do. And that is the same person who did the voiceover for Jessie in Pokemon. There you go. That's your thing. Oh yeah, Lucy and Gray have the same. No, Lucy and Gray have different ones. I'm getting off topic. You guys can look that stuff up online if you want to. Valkyrie Profile is one of my favorite games, and the only reason I get off on a tangent about it is because that's where my name comes from. The name Gandair is just Gandar with an I on it. The more you know. These two teams here, ladies and gentlemen, this round of 8 game is going to be Dominionation versus Sofanda Cox. Dominionation consisting of Carillion playing as Sona, Dual Power playing as Talon, Golly playing as Brand, Hammerhand playing as Jarvan IV, and JPEG playing as Yorick. I'm one half of your casters. Casting with me is...
I'm RheingoldRiver, and the other team is going to be the red team. It is going to be Sofanda Cox, Dionov as Ezreal, Jennerkide as Karma, Saiba on Pantheon, Lysiak on Leona, and Michael Bay playing Trundle will round out that team composition.
Let's take a look at these starting items in the Twitch chat. I want your votes. Who do you think is going to die first this game? Calm down, Sona. Sona, that's not how you play that. Sona, stop! Sona, please! I can't watch anymore. She's being mean to her instrument. But yeah, Valkyrie Profile, PlayStation 1. It's an old game. Pick it up used somewhere. Play that if you have a PlayStation or PlayStation 2 lying around. It's pretty awesome. It's an RPG. It's made by Square Enix. It's awesome. Or maybe it was just Enix then. I don't remember now without looking at it.
So we did have Dominionation actually waiting for the first Clairvoyance to buy items. They didn't want to get scouted immediately by the CV on Karma.
And to talk about that CV for a moment here, the vision is difficult to get in this game mode. You need to have Grez's Lantern or a Hextech Sweeper in order to get that click effect for vision. So it's common now to see a Clairvoyance once in a while on a team, because to be able to have that vision from the beginning of the game, when normally you wouldn't, is pretty cool. And yeah, if you guys want to hit up the threads, you give us some upvotes, give us some posts, and let people know that the stream is going on. Tell your friends to come out and watch. You have Twitter, tweet about it. At DominateDom on Twitter is DominateDominion's official Twitter. So the CV right there shows who is in what order. Lets Ezreal land that little shot. Being able to shoot through the wall. Dynov getting aggressive with Ezreal right away. A little bit of poke back and forth. Jarvan, oh, nope, Jarvan dodged that so hard. Did not want to get hit by that Mystic Shot at all.
So Karma already used her one mantra, 18 seconds until she gets it back. And before she can get an empowered Q again. But we do have Sofanda taking the lead in the capture point. There's a flag toss and the Q up from Jarvan, getting the knock up. Leona doing a very good job of zoning Brand, but he gets a lockdown, misses the steer. First blood goes over to Jarvan onto Pantheon. And still running for it. Shield onto Ezreal from Karma. Pillar of Flame hits. Ezreal gets one kill. Should be able to get a second. Then there, Sona diving pretty far. Brand actually is still alive just with auto attacks. Has the exhaust spell for Karma. He's going to fall. Sona also stunned. Triple kill for Ezreal.
Dynov with a great opening to this game. Picking up the triple kill there. I don't think anyone picked Pantheon as the first one down. What's Pantheon? I know Karma didn't win. I saw a couple people voting for Karma, and they were a little bit incorrect. Jarvan and Talon in the middle of the map, that's a pretty scary combination because of the airborne and the slows from each one of them.
And there's
keeps
the gank onto Michael Bay and ball lane. The E hits Conflagration for Brand, misses the steer though, trying to run away path around the pillar. Gets a Q down onto Yorick, a good amount of damage, but Yorick has his gold. Brand on the other side actually misses skill shots again. Sona's Q is not going to connect. Gets it with the power cord. Golly going to start channeling onto this point. Revive is immediately by Trundle. He's trying to come back. Should really be able to get the interrupt. There is the neutralize. And he cannot capture it. Pillar of Flames comes down, does a good amount of damage. Now Yorick trying to run away. Ezreal arcane shift forward. Yorick is level 6, has used the Omen of Death on himself, and will have that pop. Pillar of Flame does hit onto Trumbull. Ezreal stealing the health away, and Trumbull cannot survive any longer. Slows down onto Karma. There's a 2-shot barrage. Sona Crescendo goes down onto Karma. She's going to fall almost immediately, surely, but the Omen of Death expires there. So they're just trying to auto-attack Karma as much as he can. Pyroclasm down onto Ezreal, but it doesn't hit anyone else. There's a last second peel from Sona. The Q misses from Karma, but there's the auto-attack from Ezreal, and Sona just trying to do what she can. She's out of mana, though, so what she can is not very much at all. She's trying to just run around in circles, delay as long as possible. Karma not doing anything, just too scared of dying. There's the arcane shift from Ezreal. Karma lands the leash, and Ezreal picks up the kill on the Sona. Meanwhile, top lane, there was a kill onto Jarvan. And actually, Yorick has come back down to the bot lane. Should get the kill onto Karma. No! She passed around the side, canceling his auto-attack animation, picked up the house, so she will survive. Ezreal jumping forward onto Yorick. He's going to slow him with his Omen of Pestilence and healing a little bit too. Gets the kill to shut down 371 gold for Yorick there. And the recapture from Trundle. Yorick going to go back to base.
Ooh, Trundle not quite connecting with that pillar, picking the wrong spot of the bushes, so he's not going to deny the recall on the top end of the map. Brand and Talon are starting to push a creep wave up toward Leona. Jarvan here as well. If they make a quick play for that, they can take out Leona before her allies are able to arrive. It looks like that's exactly what they're going for. Brand beginning the cap right away. Jarvan zoning Leona back, but Pantheon with the Grand Skyfall is going to join this fight.
Jumps in, Leona taking pretty low, but everyone else is absolutely melted. Pillar of Flame comes down, Leona picks up, Sona picks up the kill onto Leona. It's still stuck inside of the Jarvan ult, and Pantheon gets the kill there onto Talon. Triple kill for him. Sona trying to run away from Karma. She gets a slow. There's a slow cord as you'll EQ forward. The leash is going to snare Sona there. She can't get to the health on time, and there's the kill for Karma.
And surprise, Pantheon is going to help turn that fight around significantly up there at the top point, enabling them to pick up the tower. Karma picking up the health relic and heading down towards the lower half of the map now. Looks like Trundle and Yorick are still having a little bit of a disagreement down here, but neither one of them seems to be bent on getting into a big fight. However, with Karma nearby, we might be just moments away from us seeing a gank. She is waiting there for quite a while. It looks like the CV is going to go down first, using that to scout out up here to see where the enemies are at before she decides where she's going to go. So it looks like she still isn't determined because they haven't quite figured out where the enemy is at. Karma tags a speed shrine, starts heading around the other way.
And it looks like there will be a fight near the center of the map. Pillar of Flame misses everyone. Karma's Q also misses everyone. So maybe not actually going to be a fight, just a little bit of posturing around the storm shield area. And right now it's just Sofanda passively winning the game, holding on to their 3-cap.
In the bottom lane, JPEG is slowly pushing Trundle out. Trundle's been taking a lot of damage. Yorick's harass pretty solid, and Trundle not yet at maximum sustain.
And Talon drives onto Pantheon, gets exhausted. Solar Flare comes down. There's a crescendo. Pillar of Flame and Pyroclasm comes down, gets all of the bounces off. Couldn't split quite in time. There's shut down onto Pantheon, and looks like Leona is going to fall there as you're the last one alive. Pillar of Flame, great arcane shift to dodge it, but unfortunately arcane shifted in the middle of the team, got exhausted there. Karma has come back now and gets the leash down onto Sona, snaring her there, interrupting Jarvan. Jarvan barely lives there. E-cord onto Karma from Sona. Clairvoyant's over the edge, but he picks up the Hell Shrine and dodges the Q. Gonna actually use his Cataclysm there. Gets an exhaust down onto Karma also, and healing for quite a bit off the lifesteal, but the Q comes back over from Karma. Sona trying to defend as long as she can, but she has no help anywhere near her. Gets slowed by Karma. Gonna heal herself again. There's the lance from Leona. Should have a stun soon, and here is the help that Sona so just desperately wanted. She got it. Seer does not hit. Leona trying to run away. Will she be able to get the health? A Q actually from Sona. It's a stun onto Talon. Recap from Karma, and it looks like she'll be able to get away.
The Seer from Brand landed very well. He led that perfectly, but she was just a little bit too far away for the pillar to reach and for them to try and get any additional damage on her. They've been pretty active on the map, but they haven't really been able to get control of the top point so far. Golly picking up the Storm Shield for his team now. Ezreal coming in, wanted to try and stop that, but was just a little bit too late. Fires off the shot, lets them know that he's there. Looks like Sona now heading down for the bottom part of the map. Looks like she's going to go for this. She does not have the crescendo available, unfortunately. She's still got 20 seconds left on that, but their combined damage may be enough.
Down. A lot of damage that onto Trundle, but he has used his agony there, trying to heal. Grand Skyfall comes in from Pantheon. They get the kill onto Trundle, but Pantheon is coming in. Yorick very low. Use the Omen of Death on himself, going to try and slow a little bit, running away from the Heart Seeker strike. Looks like they will disengage. Top lane though, Bren coming pretty low. There is the True Shot Barrage comes across, gets that kill. Jarvan now trying to run away from Ezreal. He's going to be able to EQ out on top of the point. Talon also gets picked off. So it's a successful defend of that point from Sofanda for a very long time now.
And Jarvan trying to recall. Sona wants to recall as well. They want to get healed up and get back to the platform so they can defend the refinery should they push, and they don't want to. They don't want to risk going for that. Looks like they're just going to hang around in the middle of the map and do other things that will help further hold on to that lead. Ezreal is going to take the Storm Shield for his team. Karma's going to go back and recall rather than risking potential death to try and take the refinery. They're going to play it safe. They're going to recall. They're going to make sure they have their continued ability to hold on to the top point. And not a lot of vision having gone off quite yet. They still don't know where the enemy team is. Sofanda looking around for them.
There's a trap being laid here, but it might be a trap for them instead. The dive comes down. Pyroclasm not hitting too many people at all. Brand very, very low. And Karma gets released onto Sona, trying to get away. Crescendo down onto everyone, but it did not interrupt the Heartseeker strike, so Pantheon will be able to channel that. The kill onto Jarvan. Brand trying to run away, Sona running away in the other direction, gets the health. Will Brand fall? Yes, there's a double kill for Pantheon on the other side. Ezreal trying to come in. Callan comes in. He is such a good assassin. There is the ultimate. He's going to pick up that kill, no problem. Got leashed by Karma, so was snared for just a little bit. Slow card onto Karma, and Karma gets the kill onto Sona. Karma now unstoppable. Pantheon, Callan is also going to fall. It looks like they will be able to pick up the capture point.
And they now have control over that. They don't necessarily need to hold on to it. I don't know if they would be able to do so anyway with how much health they have. It looks like generic Karma is going to... That's not quite close enough, Karma. Generic, maybe a little bit nearsighted. But Karma's going to go for the recall now as her allies move on up to the top part of the map, which means there is going to be a brief time, it looks like, where there could be an opportunity for a 4v3 if that's the way it goes to the top point. The CV goes down, reveals where Sona is. They know they're roughly in that area of the map. They have a little bit of an idea. You can see Ezreal and Leona circling around as the vision effect goes off there as well. Leona checking that with the Zenith Blade, not finding anyone. Both teams heading up to the top. And Dominionation up there first, though.
True Shot Barrage comes across. There's a dive in from Jarvan, but he's completely separated from his team. Puts the exhaust on Ezreal. Pyroclasm comes across, hits almost everyone, explodes Pantheon there. He will fall. Talon trying to run away, gets done by Leona. There is the ultimate onslaught of shadows. He is killed by Leona after Ezreal picks up Jarvan. Sona trying to run away from Karma. This is something we've seen over and over again. It does not end well for Sona. She will live this time, but again, Sofanda keeps the top point.
And Pantheon in the bottom lane now is going to go for a neutral, but everyone is descending upon that area of the map right now. Talon knows that, hey, we can't go 5 bottom, someone needs to be able to watch top. He decides to head up towards the refinery instead. Jarvan's presence is enough to scare them away, and why wouldn't it? Got giant gold arm with a spear, you don't want to mess with that at all.
Sona was coming down, could have maybe landed a crescendo onto 2, but did not have enough team nearby. You could tell she really, really wanted to get that, but had to content herself with just a Q instead. Not quite as strong a spell as crescendo, but with no team around, you really don't want to be blowing cooldowns like that.
And she did not have anyone that could follow up with that. Karma in the middle of the map. I don't know. Karma boxing by the Cataclysm. Everyone jumps on her immediately. Generic taking a lot of damage. He gets sent back to the summoner platform, and now uses the revive. There's a few seconds where they don't have to deal with Karma, and they can get into another fight.
So Ezreal is trying to kite away into the bushes. Arcane just over the wall. There's a slow card from Sona. And the crescendo comes down, stunning both of them. Brand picks up the kill onto Ezreal. Leona is still alive. Sona needs to get a slow card, or Talon could just pick it up by himself. There's the stun, though, and she might be able to live. Gets onto the speed shrine and is trying to run away. Talon will have his rake up very soon. Will she be able to juke it? And Leona is going to live there. Meanwhile, in bot lane, York did pick up the kill onto Trundle, clearing out the rest of the creeps. But Trundle popping the revive is here in time to defend his point.
Top end of the map, Pantheon stunned by Brand. They quickly dive in for him. Defensive Garrison trying to keep the tower up, but will it be able to? Talon being picked up by Ezreal. Ezreal with the wake up True Shot Barrage is able to get rid of him. Hammerhand very low on health. Generic wants to connect, and nope, he's not going to have any of that. Hammerhand wisely dodging out of the way. He saw that one coming and didn't want to get killed. Carillion, though, unfortunately, off the point, is going to take a lot of damage from Ezreal and be killed. Golly by himself, but Hammerhand is able to secure the point, and Talon is going to be right here to hold on to it for a little bit.
So there was actually a great dodge by Jarvan of the Ezreal ultimate there. He EQ'd for it, and I don't think he intended to dodge it, but he perfectly dodged the True Shot Barrage, which did save his life and help his team win the team fight. They wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Yoma's Ghostblade was actually just popped by Talon outside of a fight. Cataclysm comes down onto Pantheon. I think he just walked out of it actually, but Talon picks up the kill onto him regardless.
Bottom lane is quite the slugfest. Trundle against Yorick. A lot of auto attack going on in that area of the map. Omen of Death from JPEG still keeping him in the bottom lane for a little while though, but it's only a matter of time before that either falls off or he dies. And Trundle, look at the sustain from Trundle, able to stay up for that long in that situation. His health just starting to slowly climb back up. The longer the game goes on, the more sustainable Trundle is going to be. Now, sometimes it's difficult for Trundle to get into a fight, but...
Top lane, though, actually, they're just going to disengage. It looked like they were going to fight. Everyone was postured, but did not actually go for the fight. But yeah, the Subjugate ultimate that Trundle has, I was calling it Agony, of course it was renamed to Subjugate, it's pretty strong.
Top of the map.
Top lane still belongs to the blue team. There's a Garrison Ezreal comes to Trox. Crescendo into 2. Great Pyroclasm from Brent. Almost all of the bounces connected with Champions. Pantheon is absolutely exploded. Mages are Pantheon's weakness. And there's not a slow cord onto Ezreal. That was just a Q cord for a little bit more damage. And it will just be a 1-for-0.
Yorick's return to the bottom lane seems to be okay for now. Yorick with that Muramana that he's had capped for quite some time now.
There's a stun onto Leona and Pillar of Flame coming down too. So providing a little bit of speed. The exhaust onto Leona also. She will not get away this time. She's barely going to survive there. Ezreal and Karma have to run away now. Leona does not have her revive for just a little while longer still, so not going to be able to respawn quite yet.
Now Karma did highlight that recall. She knows that Jarvan had gone back. And goes down onto the bottom lane anyway, though. Dives in, defensive Garrison used in the bottom lane. Yorick with the Omen of Death pop. They're chasing after Trundle. Looks like they're not going to go for it. J4 could have gone for the Cataclysm there, but it looks like they were happy enough just to have him away from the tower.
Yeah, I'm not sure they thought they could actually win that 2v2, even with the Omen of Death acting as a third person. Trundle is just so huge right now. Has the Ravenous Hydra already completed? So he is going to be pretty terrifying.
Ooh, Karma, I'm worried. Cataclysm goes down.
Leona comes in too. Solar Flare comes down. True Top Barrage across everyone. Pyroclasm will absolutely melt through everyone's HP bars though. Ezreal did get the shutdown. There's the exhaust on her Brand. Leona comes forward. Sona hero. Actually, Brand picks up that kill. Oh no, the Crescendo misses everyone. And Sona is going to be chased. Leona jumps forward. And there's a triple kill for Ezreal.
Now, that fight was very unfortunate, though. Brand got a lot of good hits in. The way that Jarvan just didn't see the enemy team over here when he went for that, he was able to box in Karma with the Cataclysm, but the rest of her team was right there to immediately respond to it. And with Leona having the Zenith Blade, being able to not care about terrain at all, things worked out for the worst for them, unfortunately. They lost the windmill in that exchange. They have people coming back right now, but if they make it up to the top, they're still going to have to contend with members of the enemy team. There's really no opening for them to be able to try and get it back at the moment. And the bottom looks like Talon is heading down south to try and get some of Trundle, but with the armor that Trundle's built up now, he has the Ninja Tab. It looks like he's going to go into Frozen Heart or the Frozen Fist there later.
Ro8 does not hit. Blade of the Ruin King was just popped. It looks like Trundle trying to run away. Karma is being chased by J4, so everything is just going to meet on this point. There is the onslaught of shadows with the exhaust down. Trundle finally gets taken out. Brand, meanwhile, fighting against Ezreal, gets the stun and the shutdown with the Pillar of Flame. Jarvan trying to capture this point. Looks like they will be able to get it. Two-shot barrage comes across, gets the kill on the Talon. They do get the point, though, winning the quest. Meanwhile, Sona trying to defend this midpoint against Talon and Leona. That is a 1 versus 2, and it is a very scary 2, and she is going to get taken out. Oh, it's going to be Pantheon picks up that kill, but Yorick has returned, trying to defend his point. He does barely get the defend on the point. Leona trying to channel again, Pantheon trying to channel again, but the ghouls are doing quite a bit. Meanwhile, Karma is capturing the bot point, so they really need to regroup and try and defend something.
Jarvan is able to discourage her from that, uses the Cataclysm to box her in once more. Pantheon coming down to join this fight, though, but I don't know about his odds. Lands right in a crescendo.
Pantheon is going to be exhausted here, but Ezreal has enough damage, picks up that kill. Pantheon still fighting Sona. Finally, Sona gets the kill. Ezreal is chasing down onto her, though. There's the arcane shift forward. Sona wants to do as much damage as she can, but that is not very much at all. Triple kill for Ezreal, and they will be able to counter push getting bought, but they are going to be losing top for it.
Dynov hasn't gotten enough triple kills this game. He just felt like he needed one more. Maybe he'll get another one before the game ends. We will have to wait and see. Blue team heading down to the bottom point. Dominionation wants to get this back. They're going to jump in. Nope, arcade shift. You know where Ezreal is right now, but you don't know where he's going to go. That's the power of arcade shift. Trundle he has to delay against the rest of this team by himself, and you've seen a normal champion would have gone down already, but he's still up for another moment.
Gets the shutdown onto Ezreal, trying to run now onto Trundle. He's going to get knocked by the pillars. Sona picks up that with a Q. Top lane, we have Talon trying to save his point. He is not going to be able to do so, just barely. Yorick recapturing, and looks like Sona and Jarvan also going to capture. Revive's not available. Well, Pantheon's is, but he is, of course, alive, so he cannot really use that spell to join the bot fight. Brand is chunked absolutely by Karma here. Drops the Pyro Blast and actually picks up the kill himself. Great kill pickup from Brand, but he needs to be very careful. Leona does a good E into the bush, but Brand was not there. He almost was. Pantheon can absolutely one-shot him right now. Seer comes across, is dodged, but it does interrupt the cap, and Leona just one-shots with her ultimate.
Dual Power trying to get to the refinery to stop that from being captured, is able to tag it with the rake, and
There's
Jarvan.
A knock up onto Pantheon and the kill there. Leona trying to run away from Brand. Both of them get stunned on at the exact same time. Jarvan trying to cut around from the other direction. Leona picks up the health. And they don't want to spend too much time chasing, but he gets the stun. Pillar Flame also gets stunned again. These two champions just seeing each other for days. Another Seer, another stun. And the E not hitting. Another stun from Leona. There's the E, and finally Brand picks up that kill after great amounts of CC there. On the other side, Leona, Karma was picked up by Sona. Ezreal also going to be picked up by Yorick. At the top, another fight, a great Cataclysm, and the Talon ultimate also the exhaust on the Talon. Trundle trying to live as long as he can, but he's really getting chased down by everyone, and there's actually Ace coming down for Dominionation.
And this may get them into a 4.5 or 5 cap position temporarily, and they've only got they've only got a 50-point Nexus health gap, which isn't very much, though, and this I think is going to get them that back pretty handily here. They were down by about 100 points at one point. I use the word point too many times, but you get the idea.
You get the point, I think is what you meant to say.
Yes.
Leona walking into a trap here. There's not the stun from Brand, actually. And Brand will just back off a little bit. So they've neutralized 1 point, about to actually take it, neutralize 2 points, but the score is almost even. The score
is even.
Yeah.
Not almost even. Yeah, for a moment there. Talon in the middle of the map. Storm shields are open. Neither team going for them right now. The Talon maybe? No? He's going to walk right on by it. Is he going to go for it? Karma going to come down to interrupt. He's going to force that response there. Lots of damage from Karma. And oh, the snare on Talon, unfortunately, goes through. There's an airborne and a crescendo from Sona. But they really don't have a lot of damage to follow it up. And now they're falling back from the fight.
And Pantheon picks up a double kill there. Unfortunately, the crescendo from the Sona was exactly the same time as the EQ knockup from Jarvan. And so that crowd control is actually mostly wasted, not able to make full use of that. Jarvan is exhausted, gets the Cataclysm down, but again, the duration, or the damage part of it is exhausted. Ezreal will have his cap interrupted for just a sec. Sona is here, wants to do something. She has not quite finished her Iceborne, holding on to the components of it. Talon is here too, but it looks like they will successfully be able to maybe defend this. Talon dives in, will he be able to get onto Ezreal? There's the neutralize, and there's no way they can defend this without the help of the turret. Talon picks up that kill, Sona getting slowed by Karma, and the rest of the team will be able to pick up the windmill.
That is a great example of why you spread out on a point. Talon was just not able to take with Ezreal. If he did, it would have bought them a little bit more time, and maybe they would have been able to delay for Jarvan to get there. As it stands, they did a fairly solid job of that. However, that snare from Karma catching Talon was just very unfortunate in the center part of the map. Talon went in for the damage on Karma, which brought him into range to be able to be tagged and stopped by that. And I feel like maybe if he would have fallen back, things would have gone a little bit differently. The game still pretty even though with 10, 15 Nexus health of each other, so it's still anybody's game at this point. Middle of the map, vision goes down, lets them see exactly what's going on, so they know who's there, falling back because they do not want to get caught by any of those stuns. Stun from Leona and stun from Pantheon. Jarvan goes through, pops his shield.
There's the engage. Rando is being used. Leona dropping her ult. Crescendo comes across, picks up the kill on the Pantheon. Actually, Leona also going to be dropped. And there's the kill on the Karma. Cataclysm comes down on Ezreal. He's just going to Arcane Shift out of it. Does not even care. But he is being slowed right now. What is the cooldown on the E? 5 seconds on that. But the Dragon Strike is enough. Double kill for Jarvan. And they're going to be able to get the top point.
Karma, having used the revive, is able to get back and stop Jarvan from being able to neutral a drill. Jarvan's presence out here keeps Karma from being able to get to the top and prevent that from being captured. So they are going to get control of that point. In the bottom lane, this is basically an accurate description of what's been going on in bottom lane. It's been a slugfest between Yorick and Trundle, and neither one has really gained too much ground over the other one throughout the course of the game. Karma comes down for a gank. JPEG falling down towards the tower. He wants to get that defender's advantage, but with the rest of the team showing up, Trundle and Karma are going to fall back up just north of the point.
The blue team was caught out on their way to try and defend. Sona almost immediately. Jarvan is going to be melted too. Great pillar, and there was a great solar flare. Sona using her revive almost immediately. She has returned already, has the Iceborne, so she's going to be able to, does not actually have the Iceborne yet, still does not have the Iceborne. Brand did get the neutralize, but the Grand Skyfall came in from Pantheon. He picks up that kill, and Brand does not have a revive, unlike Sona. And the fight on the bottom with Yorick, very, very low, gets jumped on by Leona. There's the crescendo from Sona, but it's only onto Trundle. He dances for a little bit. There's the kill onto Leona. Ezreal just chunking away at absolutely everyone. Trundle picks up the double kill there. Omen of Death is still on Yorick. He's still alive for just a little while longer as you're trying to get as much damage done as you can. Trundle's still alive and mostly full health. Randuin's comes down to slow Sona there. She gets good damage down onto Ezreal, but will it be enough? Arcane Shift, good down, just dodging everything. Trundle, Yorick has come back. They get the neutralize onto the point, and on the top part of the map, Jarvan is going to die. And the red windmill goes back to Sofanda.
And Trundle staying alive basically forever in the bottom lane. No death Trundle down there. He stayed alive for that entire fight. Yorick back, able to pick up the tower again. Now Brand tried to pull some people away by capturing the drill or by getting the drill neutral, but Pantheon came down. And when Pantheon came down to that point with the Grand Skyfall, that put him in an excellent position to come up here and take the windmill. Otherwise, it might have played out a little bit differently, but that global ultimate giving Pantheon that map mobility and really taking advantage of it in that last fight.
And that's what you need to be careful about. When you try and pull people to some part of the map, you have to make sure you can actually survive them coming there, because if they're just going to kill you and the rest of your team isn't putting enough pressure, you're just going to get behind.
Moving up to the top point, Gala begins the capture, stop the tower from shooting. Leona is going to come in and stop that.
Great dodge by Brand there. And Sona finally has finished her Iceborne, so she will have the slows on her auto attacks with power cards. Jarvan jumps in. The crescendo comes across onto 2, but there's almost no follow-up. And the Pyroclasm only hits one person. That's absolutely huge. Leona misses her either talent trying to get away. True Shot Barrage comes across from Ezreal. Gets the kill under Jarvan there. Leona is not actually stunned by that from Brand. And Karma picks up that kill. Sona, the only one alive. She's getting kited away by Ezreal. And picks up the health, surviving just a little while longer. But I don't think she can actually live. Tries to juke away, dodges the Q, but not, or the W, but not the auto attack.
What are you doing, Pantheon? Pantheon.
Pantheon gonna backdoor. 3 points remain, and it is going to be Sofanda beating Dominionation.
And Sofanda Cox is going to win that game. They are going to advance on to the round of 4. Lots of good plays in that game all game long. That was very exciting to watch. And Trundle just... What do you do to Trundle?
I don't know, man. You don't waste absolutely everything on him.
Did you see how long he was down the bottom lane in that game? In that last series of engagements? He was there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're just tanking absolutely everything, and he didn't even care. He didn't even care.
Does anyone remember the pick order? Yorick Trundle? I think it was Trundle into Yorick. I think. I don't quite remember because that was at the beginning of the game, and that was 35 minutes ago. Take a look at this post-game screen here. You get a chance to look at all of the items. And let's see who did the most damage that game. Let's take a look at damage dealt to champions. Ezreal. Whoa! Ezreal! 63k. That's how you know you came to play. When you start approaching 50,000 in a 23-minute or higher game, when you're at 50k or getting ahead of it, then that's how you know you did a pretty good job. And Graveyard Hero for this game is Pantheon. No. Talon? Yep. Talon Pantheon. Talon with just a couple extra seconds more. I'm surprised that Trundle has way more time spent dead than Yorick, actually. That's kind of interesting. But I think it's because earlier on in the game, Yorick was actually bullying Trundle really, really hard until the game got near the end. Because he did force Trundle back several times at like the first 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to go dig up another game for you guys. And I will see you right back here in some moments.